Woman. An adult female person, as opposed to a man. The woman kept house while the man hunted. Woman. A female person who plays a significant role, such as wife, mistress, or girlfriend, in the life of a particular man. He was faithful to his woman. Woman. A peremptory form of address. Don't be daft, woman. In the beginning, God created a little girl in the womb of a young, troubled, and abused mother of two. Once upon a time, he wanted a boy. So one day, he took Mama to the doctor in an attempt to have the little girl killed. Mama risked her life by going against his decision and saved the baby. The baby was born, and they all lived happily ever after. Only not actually. The first few years of my life were all about beating down the man. It was all very cinematic. My battered and worn mother cut her hair short and lost nearly all femininity. She kept silent as he cut off all my hair, had me wear pants and play baseball. Most of the time, though, he left me alone with her while he went off and had affairs with little Miss Mary Jane. Fast forward through a few years past the alleged sexual abuse brought on to me by him. Past the time of wearing hand-me-down dresses while playing with cars in the mud, and past the separation of my parents. Hit play as I'm at the courthouse and they're telling me that I'm going to go on a 2-week vacation. And watch as for 3 months I'm separated from my parents, not knowing where they were or when I'd get to see them again. Final custody was given to my mother. And just as we settled into a happy life in a tiny suburb of Los Angeles, everything blew up in our faces again. We had visitation with him. In the meantime, revenge was on his mind. One day I was sitting near a window in my house, and I hear a loud pop and a shudder, and there's a crater in the yard, right outside the window. He put a bomb in the yard. Another time I was brought home from my brother's basketball game, and I ended up sitting alone, watching him on TV. And he barricaded his van in front of the Elkins Children's Courthouse, threatening to kill himself if they tried to get him out. Imagine the fear as the police dragged my mother to the courthouse to attempt to talk some sense into me. Imagine the shock as a picture of my brother and sister and I appeared on the screen. And imagine the shame when he was on the front page of the LA Times and they said he looked like a wet sewer rat. When your mother had constantly threatened to put you, yourself, in a mental hospital, here he was actually in one. But he was brilliant, an absolute genius. And he somehow convinced him that he was recovered, and they let him out. They let a man threatening to kill his children out of the ward. By this time, the cops were on constant patrol outside my house, day and night every day. I wasn't allowed to go outside except to go to school. Friends weren't allowed to come over. I wasn't allowed to go to their house. My childhood was gone. And then one morning at 3 a.m., there was a pounding on the door. The police had come to tell my mother the news. They burst into our rooms to check if we were still alive. Later that morning, a family meeting was called. He'd been found dead in his van. The gun was in his hand. He had killed himself. Emotional numbness set in over my family. Numbness turned to hatred. They added together and they formed blatant neglect. From 8 to 12 years old, I grew into a sharp-witted, quite ugly, awkward freak, attempting to push her way through a world of children who had had everything handed to them on a silver platter their entire lives. By the time I turned 12, I cut off all my hair. I clad myself in black cloth and whatever metal I could get my hands on. And I spent an hour a morning perfecting my thick, black eyeliner. No one cared enough except to tell me how much more ugly it made me. So imagine my surprise when he took a liking to me. A year into my initial theatrical stint, he found me. He saw me. He advanced He conquered. He put me into a complete trance. He had control over everything I did. And as for what happened that summer, I will tell you exactly what my master taught me to say. He never touched me. He never made me feel uncomfortable. He never made me fear for my life. He never said anything sexual to me. He never touched me. He never cornered me in that bathroom. He never expressed his desire to kidnap me. He never tried to get me into his car. He never forced me to remove any articles of my clothing. He never touched me. I remained completely entranced, though I was outwardly hardened, using lies and deceit to keep myself safe from everybody else, while quite literally flinging myself to a man who hurt me. But the attention was oh so well. Even as I went away to boarding school, he continued to control every act of mine, from what I sang to what I ate, from if I went to class to who I spoke to. We chatted constantly, engaging in unmentionable cyber conversations and transfers. By the summer, after the first year of this, he had convinced me that I was good for one thing. And so at 14, I found myself dancing at a coffee table with stolen lingerie and prom shoes. Imply rich teen kids threw money at my empty corpse as I ground and shimmied on each of them in turn. Mob mentality prevailed, and I was poked and prodded through the circle of young men, my eyes glazed with fear and defeat. I was desperate for this feeling of being an object. For another year after that, I continued to be under his reign. I wore miniskirts and heels to hike in the forest. I wore colored contacts so no one could see my eyes. I drank extensively. In trying to pull myself away from him, I threw myself to other men just like him. So I hadn't actually seen him since that summer 2 years prior. And my friend and I go to see him in a show. And we watch. And he's a scrawny, pale nerd, shorter and lighter than I am. Not nearly the Don Juan I remember him as. And as quickly as it had begun 2 years earlier, it ended. I was free of him. And he'll never forgive me for it. Adjusting to the world after 2 years of seeing it through tainted eyes is a task that is still haunting me. I became a shrink's fantasy, a collection of fantastic acronyms. OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. EHPD, emerging histrionic personality disorder. PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. He had fully exploited my womanhood. But instead of hating him, I made the decision to forgive him. I let my hatred calm into a love and appreciation of men and of humanity. He gave me a chance to forgive what is unforgivable. He's old. I don't know how old. I wouldn't be surprised when he made up his age when he came to America. He's secretive. He's classy. He breathes the history of his blood. He's humble. He's content working as a salesman and living in a modest apartment with his 7th wife. He's had 7 wives. He's quite the lady killer. He's got wit, charm, and a love of beautiful women. And I am the rose of the family, he says. And once he says that, there's no turning back. Life visiting him turns into a flurry of skirts, well-fitted blouses, beautifully styled imperial curls, and porcelain skin. Like a porcelain Russian doll. Once that idea of the perfected